Melissa, hey, congratulations on being part of SharkFest once again for Shark Attack Files for National Geographic.
Thank you so much. Very excited to be back.
I was going to say, how does it feel being back? I want to say this is your third time around for SharkFest for National Geographic. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so. I've shot so much for them lately. I've kind of lost track, but I think probably this is the most memorable because this is for like the 10-year anniversary of SharkFest.
Oh wow, that is a very special. What makes to you SharkFest so special? I know you're a shark enthusiast, but it must be a delight to do something like this again.
Oh, it really is. I mean, for me, SharkFest is everything good with shark programming. You've got a diverse cast of scientists and researchers. You've got a diverse cast of sharks that you end up seeing on screen. It's really awesome being able to turn on the TV and be like, oh, hey, I know most of those people on the screen right now, and seeing them celebrated for the amazing work that they do.
Now, what is your enthusiasm specifically towards sharks? Why do you love sharks so much?
I just really love misunderstood predators and being a voice for them. Sharks have been around, even they've been in the fossil record earlier than trees. So they've been around for a really, really long time. And I think we kind of need to put a little bit of respect back into a shark's name, not fear them so much as these quote unquote mindless predators, but respect them for the top tier predators that they are. They've outlived 5 mass extinctions and they're still around today. So I think that's pretty impressive.
It's kind of ironic is because the program that you are doing is called Shark Attack Files, and we're not supposed to be afraid of sharks.
But the really nice thing about Shark Attack Files is it reels you in with the title because you're like, oh, okay, what is this? And you get the enthusiasts who want to see those kind of recreations of historical human shark interactions in the past. And we reel those people in and then we hit them with the science. We'd be like, all right, this is why this possibly happened, or this is showcasing why these things are so rare. And I think injecting a bit of science into shark attacks, something that for a lot of people is just this really terrifying event, is a great way of just showcasing how rare of an event it is, how many things kind of have to come together in order for this rare event to happen, and just have people understand it a little bit more. We fear what we don't know, and shark attacks are a big unknown to us, even to us shark scientists. We're still trying to figure out what really makes a shark attack happen, and this is a good step in the direction for all of us to learn collectively.
Why do you suppose we fear sharks so much? Is it real? I mean, from my understanding, it's all because of one movie, Jaws. If that movie didn't come out, we probably would not fear sharks.
Yeah, I think Jaws, a lot of people, that stems their fear. That is the movie that they go to that they're like not stepping into the ocean ever again. But funnily enough, Jaws also had the reverse effect for a lot of people as well. A lot of my colleagues got into shark science because of Jaws. It just goes to show you how powerful of a influence media can have on people's perception of animals. And that's something that I'm really interested in, and I'm actually studying for my PhD.
So what drew you into this, I want to say, genre of sharks in the first place? Was it ever since you were a little girl or something more recent?
Yeah, I mean, since I was a kid, I said I wanted to be a marine shark scientist. Then I saw a shark episode on TV growing up, and since then I've basically been hooked. I think my parents definitely thought it was like one of those phases that kids go through. Like, one week they say they want to be a firefighter, the next they want to be a weatherman. I was like, I want to be a marine biologist, and then I want to be a shark scientist. My parents were like, cool, she'll want to be like a storm chaser next or anything like that. And I just stayed in the shark science genre. I'm sure my parents wish I had studied something smaller and less bitey, like guppies or manatees. But yeah, I've always just been fascinated by sharks, and the more I learn about them, the more I want to learn about them and continue to protect them.
Now, when you say shark science, what do you mean by shark science? We're not just talking about just studying about attacks. We're talking about probably everything and anything about sharks.
Exactly that. So for me, for example, my PhD is actually based on shark habitat use. So figuring out why sharks are where they are, but also our relationship with sharks and how that's changed over the years. So shark science covers that under that umbrella. It also covers the biology, the ecology, the overall behavior of these animals, the genetics of them. There's so many different sciences that go under the shark science umbrella. And you see a lot of them on SharkFest this year, which I think is really awesome.
Now, all the studies of sharks, does it take you all around the world? I'm actually guessing like Australia probably be the biggest hotbed of sharks.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here doing my PhD on sharks. Australia is a great one for sharks. But yeah, it has taken me all over the world. I've been really lucky that through filming and through doing other research and volunteering, I've been able to go all over the world to study sharks. And it really gives me a unique appreciation for them, seeing them in all these different types of habitats.
Now, your background that you were born Puerto Rican, spent a lot of time in Mexico. How are the sharks different from, you know, those areas compared to, you know, like Australia where you're studying right now?
Yeah, the funny thing is that we're just starting to scratch the surface of the sharks of Puerto Rico. A lot of people think Puerto Rico gets a lot of funding from the states in regards to their marine science programs, and that's just not the case. There is a organization there that is now starting to do a lot more shark science, which is really exciting, and I hope to collaborate with them soon to kind of uncover the secret lives of sharks in the Caribbean there. For Mexico, I mean, Mexico is another one of those hot spots for sharks that you hear a lot about of, especially for whale sharks and for great white sharks. And you've got some incredible scientists leading the charge there and making sure people put Mexico on the map when it comes to great whites. But, you know, it's one of those things I don't think you can beat sharks of Australia because it's just so unique. You have so many of them that are endemic, so you can't find them anywhere else except here or in this area of the world. And that's just incredible. I mean, we've got a whole entire family of sharks that are freshwater sharks that you can't find anywhere else in the world. So we've got it pretty good here when it comes to sharks.
and it, seemingly you display no fear whatsoever swimming with sharks, and that's just because shark attacks are extremely rare. From my understanding, it's like the chances of getting attacked by a shark is far more uncommon than getting struck by lightning.
Oh, you're more likely to get bit by someone in New York than you are of ever getting bit by a shark. Yeah, I think I can swim with confidence with these sharks because I've been around them for so long. I can tell their behaviors. I can tell when it's time to get out if things start to look a little bit hairy and whatnot. But also, like you said, shark attacks are so rare. And you know, anytime I don a wetsuit, I kind of look like a seal or like a tasty morsel. I'm not the tallest or the biggest person. And the fact that none of them have decided to eat me means I either taste really, really bad or we're not on the menu. And that's it. We're just not on the menu for these animals.
So on the program this year with the shark attack files, every marine biologist have their own theories. Do you have a specific theory on why certain people are attracted to getting bitten by a shark, or is it just a wild shoot at this point?
Honestly, I think it is. It's one of those things that sometimes there are some trends that we see. For example, a lot of shark bites happen in the surf line, which is where you have a lot of surfers, you have a lot of swimmers and whatnot that are there. But outside of that, the only commonality that we kind of see between all the people is that they're humans, that they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like I said, there's so many factors that go into why a shark attack happens, and we're still trying to figure those out. And then, of course, with a changing oceanic climate, that's just kind of throwing all of our theories out the bus. So we've got a lot to learn. And that's why it's just so important to learn to coexist with these animals because they were there first. We have to share the ocean with them. And we can't fault them for something that is so, so rare. We just have to learn how to coexist with these animals and realize that when we go into the ocean, there's always a risk.
Most excellent. And an off-topic question I want to know is you wrote some books for Scholastic, and you know one of them is about sharks, but the other two is about, I want to say, what, like crocodiles, and the other one was leopards.
Jaguars, yeah.
Jaguars, yeah. So how did that came about when your specialty is about sharks?
Um, for me, it was just a love for these kind of misunderstood predators. You know, crocodiles, sharks, and jaguars all get really bad reputations in areas where you consistently have human wildlife interactions. And so the book series, Wild Survival, it's kind of its goal is to not so much humanize them, but show them in a different light than you normally see them, and inspire awe instead of fear or frustration. And you've got to start that young. But, you know, I have a lot of friends who are my age, so in their 20s and their 30s, who read it with their kids and they're like, oh, actually, I really enjoyed it as an adult too. And I'm like, perfect. It's a book for everyone. So it just came from a love of, again, trying to give a voice to those misunderstood predators and have people see them in a different light.
Most excellent. And one last thing. What is the most misunderstood thing that we should learn about sharks that that you keep on hammering to the rest of the world?
To me, it is the fact that these shark attacks are so rare. And I know that's hard to hear because you constantly are inundated with it in the media, and you're seeing these replays of the same shark bite over and over again. So it seems like it's something that's a lot more common. The numbers will go up as shark conservation efforts are successful and there's more people going into the water. But again, it is one of those things that they are so statistically rare compared to everything else. And at the end of the day, we do need to learn how to coexist with these animals and just shift our mindset of the ocean being ours and instead the ocean being ours, including the animals that live there.
Most excellent. Well said, Melissa. Well, keep up the good work, and hopefully we can educate the world more about these sharks as gentle creatures rather than, you know, fierce monsters of the seas.
I agree with that, Gig. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully we get to do this again next year.
That would be lovely.
Appreciate it. Bye now.